Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're Staci Scheurenbrand. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Hi, and Jim Stockberer. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. You guys are with the National Balloon Classic. Let me just let's start with you first, Staci. Give us a little background on you, where you grew up, and to talk a little bit about your career up until now, this point.
Well, I actually grew up in Indianola, so I have been around balloons all my life. And in 2013, I had the opportunity, about 10 years ago now, I had the opportunity to become the director here at the National Balloon Classic. So it's been a wonderful opportunity to take something that I've loved almost my entire life and see an event grow and expand in our community.
Okay. All right, Jim, how about you? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a tiny farming community just in northern Iowa called Geneva, Iowa, town of about 200 people, so very small Midwestern town, and moved to Indianola probably about 12 years ago or so after, doing some professional things and after college, and pretty much that first day I moved to Indianola, became a part of the National Balloon Classic, just to, be a part of our community and get to meet people here in the new community I moved to.
All right, perfect. So I've never been. People are going to want to know, what does the Balloon Classic look like? What does it smell like? And what do you hear at the Balloon Classic?
Well, do you want me to take that one, Jim?
Yeah, go for it.
What it looks like is something that most people have never seen before. I think everyone probably has seen a hot air balloon in the sky, but probably not over 100 of them in the sky at the same time.
Wow.
Plus, Iowa obviously is an absolute beautiful state, beautiful green rolling hills and such. So you put that landscape and then you fill the sky with all the brilliant colors and what we call special shaped balloons and such. It's magical. And I don't think no matter how old you are, that sight ever gets old. What it smells like is food. It's like you're going to a state fair. Lots of food. So we have, a festival side of our event and such. And the sounds are also something you have to be at the balloon field to experience. We call it the whoosh of the burner. And there's nothing quite like a hot air balloon going over your head and that burner hits. And it's a whoosh that can only be described like that.
Okay.
It brings out the kid in you no matter how old you are.
For sure, for sure. Jim, talk a little bit about the entertainment that you guys offer.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really kind of one of the things that, when Staci came to be our executive director, it was one of the pushes that I think she really pushed for is, not just, the entertainment of the balloons, but then to also have, when you're on the ground, to have that music aspect, a little bit something extra when the balloons aren't flying. So, that was one of the big pushes we said was to bring in great live entertainment. So yeah, we look for anything that can be, and that's kind of one of the really fun things about our music is we'll do anything from, country to, a little bit of, R&B to rock and roll, classic rock. And it's really, really nice things is to be able to have that different genres at our field as well.
Okay, very good. Let's go back to the food because it's almost lunchtime. What are some of the traditional vendors that are there and the types of food you guys have?
We've had some of the same vendors for over 20 years out at the balloon field. So we have a list of concessions that have everything from corn dogs to funnel cakes to, the good old Iowa tenderloin, hot dogs, hamburgers, that sort of thing, the nice fried greasy stuff. But then we also have a lot of ethnic foods and, people are getting more health conscious and such. So we're starting to see more food trucks and that sort of thing offer gluten-free items and more healthy fare and such.
Okay.
Ice cream, of course.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. In the middle of the summer. Sure. So yeah. For those of us who have never been to a balloon festival, you keep talking about the balloon field. We're going to make the assumption this is not in the actual city limits, correct? So people actually
It is actually.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No. So just kind of describe the layout of the festival and the event in its entirety for us.
Well, Indianola, the balloon field is just outside city limits. So we're just 2 miles east of Indianola. So we've kind of have the perfect world out. We have 150 acres of beautiful land out at the balloon field. So it's open air, obviously. It's ground seating, but it's landscape ground. People bring their blankets, their lawn chairs, and they are able to sit and watch balloons and such. But just 2 miles, from town, they have all the amenities that our city offers as well. And if, that's what makes it such a great event, is that the balloons fly twice a day. They fly in the morning and they fly in the evenings. Hot air balloons cannot fly during the day. So we've got a whole town full of amazing places to eat and shop and explore and discover, an entire county, actually.
Very good. All right. So educate our listeners. Balloons can't fly during the day. Why? Because of the temperature?
Temperature and the heat.
Okay.
Or temperature and the wind, excuse me. Yes.
Yeah.
So balloons fly at 6:30, scheduled to fly at 6:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. each evening. Those are the ideal temperatures and the ideal winds in Iowa. And that also makes our event a little unique than some other events, because most either fly either in the morning or the evenings. But we do have 2 flights. Our morning flights are more of a competition flight. And we have, well, actually, we have some of the best competition from around the world. And that's kind of concentrated in the morning. And then at night, they also have competition flight, but it's a little bit more fun flying. And that's when all the entertainment, kids stuff, fireworks, extra events, that sort of thing, that all happens in the evening.
Perfect. Okay, Jim, let's go back to you. So what was it for you, Jim, that really drew you in and said, hey, I want to be a part of this?
Yeah, and definitely, I think it was, kind of 2 things there is the people who are a part of it, our board members are absolutely fantastic. So to be a part of that board, and to be able to, grow our event, is really something that is, I think Staci touched upon it. It's not just something that's really kind of the pride of our community, but it's the pride of, of Iowa, and the entire state, just something that's really kind of cool, that really stands out for us. So to be a part of something that's so cool, and to be able to kind of bring little things that, I can bring to it, from the perspective of, live music, and being able to kind of bring in just some of that different aspect, not just the ballooning side, but we always call it kind of the balloons and tunes. So they kind of go hand in hand. So be able to kind of bring some of my knowledge from music into the event was really something that really excited me.
No, that's great. Staci, what are a couple of examples from the past that you can recall? And I'm going to call them like heart-touching moments, like just some memories of the Balloon Classic in the past, where it kind of just fuels your fire to keep things going for people, to bring people from the community and outside the community in together. Give us a couple examples that really have kept you going.
I think one of my favorite stories is I was out, it was probably my 2nd year into the event. One of my favorite things to do is just simply go out and walk around the crowd. And as I was walking, I saw this young boy. He was probably 6 or 7, and he was standing there, and his mom was there, and he was just crying. And he kind of got my attention. I said, "Hey, buddy, are you okay?" And he said, "It's just so beautiful." And I will absolutely never forget that. And it's true. I've seen people stand there, and it brings tears to their eyes. I think it truly brings out something that reminds you as a kid, who does not like balloons, obviously.
Right.
And it is just such a magical feeling, and sights and sounds and such. So that was one of my greatest memories. And then also, as Jim said, it's a long, weary 9 days. I mean, it's nonstop, and we plan all year for it. Contrary to people thinking we do nothing all winter, we plan all year for it. And then when the moment comes and you see how the community gets behind it, our sponsors, our volunteers, our emergency services, how all the pieces come together and make it work. You're so incredibly proud to be part of something like this that has been in Indianola for 50 years. Indianola has hosted a competition hot air balloon event for over 50 years now. So just to be part of that rich history and see it grow has been my great honor.
9 days is a long time. That's a
9
long
days.
That's a long week, you know? Yeah, for sure.
We are not held responsible at the end of 9 days what we say or do.
Oh, I bet. All right, guys. I always ask these two questions at every interview. I'm a live music guy. I'm in entertainment, so I always ask these two. Jim, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with you, Jim, and then I'll ask Staci the final question. So, Jim, my question for you is, what is your favorite concert you've seen in your entire life, anywhere in the world?
Yeah. I went to Lollapalooza 1992, which would have been like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam,
Nirvana.
I don't think they were that year. I don't remember seeing them. So. But I mean, like, even like the side stages were incredible. It was like Cypress Hill and House of Pain, and we saw Stone Temple Pilots before Stone Temple Pilots was even big.
Oh man!
There was like 10 people watching him, and we're like, "This band's awesome." So yeah, that's by far one of my favorites. It was pretty cool to be able to see all those in like one day.
For sure, Staci. The second question is all yours. Dead or alive, you could bring one musical act to the National Balloon Festival Classic. Who would you bring?
Jim's rolling his eyes because he knows this answer, because for 10 years I said, you get Aerosmith to the Classic and I will sit on the ground and retire. That will be my final moment.
Oh, that would be great. Fantastic. That would be perfect. Guys, what's the best way for people to find out more about the National Balloon Classic so they can plan their vacations, they can plan their summer around this? How do they find out that information?
We are all over social media, but the best way to start is through our website at nationalballoonclassic.com.
Oh, perfect. All right, Staci, Jim, thanks for being on with us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks for having us.
Well, baby, I'm